I had a couple of times I went down to Charlton
Yeah.
because my granddad was a Charlton fan.
Okay, nice.
Um, so we obviously see you when you was in your early days, but
Yeah.
try and start most of the conversations with like the early stages of football. Like, how did you get into it? Was you Southern
Um,
League? Was you academy? How did it all work for you?
no, so when I was actually, I say sort of from like primary school, so I was probably like year four playing for the year 16. And then I kind of noticed I had like a bit of a talent, I guess, because I was always like being called up to like represent the school for the older kids and stuff like that. And I always used to just play football when I used to play out with my mates, park, or even just walking to the shop. You just always take a ball with you. Um, and then I think from that, I remember we played a school match, I believe. I think it was against a team in Streatham. There was like a tournament. Because I grew up in Norbury and my school was in Streatham, yeah. And then I got scouted by West Ham at the time. It was before Charlton. So I went to West Ham, me and my brother, my older brother at the time. And we went, I was there from, I'd say, about 8 years old. I was on trial. And then we left because it was too far. My dad,
Right.
because he was working where we obviously live, it was obviously just too hard to commute. Like he couldn't, finish work on time. He would leave early all the time to get me there. Mum was working as well, so it was a bit difficult. Um, and then we left West Ham, and then Charlton came in, and it was like we're interested in Callum and blah blah blah. So we was like, touch, like this is around the corner for us, a bit easier to get to. And yeah, then we went to Charlton, and it went really well.
Was the training centre was the academy at Elton or was it elsewhere?
Yes, it was Sparrows Lane.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sparrows Lane. It's changed up now though. I went down there the other day to be honest.
nice.
Saw a few of like the old staff and everyone had a catch up. My son was on my son was training there for a while. I'd say last year or so, or maybe a couple years ago actually. Um yeah, it's good to obviously catch up with everyone, see everyone's faces again, which was nice. Good to see. But yeah, it was at Sparrows Lane. It's changed now, like drastically, I'd say, compared to
Nice.
how we remember it. But it's good.
And you had obviously I spoke to Jordan, but who are some of the names that like you grew up with in the academy?
Uh,
It was a pretty decent academy, right?
oh yeah, so like, I mean, when I was sort of like, mm, I'd say in around like the 13 years kind of age, there was good players. You had like your John Joes, that was like the next thing, and then who else was there? There was many good players. I remember so many. Like even playing up when you was just young, whether it was the 21s or the 18s, like each team you'd have at least two players and you're like, they're unreal. Got to a point where I used to finish training because sometimes I used to catch a train to train in from Norbury just to get there. I used to finish training. I used to just watch them. Like some of the older players, I used to think like, how's this person like that good, or how's this person doing this? And you got to learn
Yeah.
because if you don't, you just go on and you think, might as well just stay for a bit longer. Um, but they had some real talent. I mean, for like my age group, I'd say it was like me, Jordan, that kind of broke through. Who else? Morgan, he broke through. But there was a lot of players that had debuts as well. Adi Aziz, Joe Pigott, um, then the younger players like Lookman, Joe Gomez. Um, So Casey, what did Casey do first team? Casey Palmer, or did he leave before? Not sure. But I'd always say that our academy, even from back then, weren't academy to be messed about with. No matter who we played, I generally think Charlton's academy is, if not one of
Yeah.
the best academies to be at.
Yeah, it's produced some great players and even just some of the names you talk about there. I think I mentioned this with Jordan, but the percentage of individuals that come through an academy but then actually go
Yeah,
on to play first team football is obviously quite low.
yeah.
But Charlton as academy have had some great success there. And yourself,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think from my research, was you 17 when you made your debut?
Yeah.
That's young.
17 years old. I don't know if I just turned 17,
I
but
think
yeah,
you were
17.
a month in. I think it was a month past your birthday. Or
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, is
What
it?
was that like?
I was,
Because you're young, like you're still a kid.
do you know what? I'll be honest, yeah. I was fuming. I wanted to do it earlier. And
What's it do?
I really had like I always like when I was young, I always, well, still now, I set myself targets and told myself like, if I can be good enough to train with them and keep up with the level physically, mentally, then I don't see a reason why you can't play men's football. That's what I used to tell myself anyway. Some people say you're absolutely deluded if you think you're going to be
You need
15 and
that.
playing. But the thing is in nowadays, they'll, if a kid's ready, they'll just play him. But back
No,
then, I don't think it was the same case.
no.
So yeah, I just used to just try and give everything I can in every session, every game. And luckily I got called up training the first team, kind of stuck with them for a bit and then got my chance. It's honestly like the best feeling because it's like you join at academy level, you go all the way sort of like through. And it's not easy. There's a lot of like ups and downs during the years as well. And then to like make your debut at it, is like the pinnacle. It's like we did it. We finally got here. Now stay
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to be a footballer, I do think you need to have a little bit of that maybe deluded confidence anyway.
Yeah.
I think most footballers that I speak to, they're so sure of themselves and they back
Hmm.
themselves that much. They wouldn't be a professional footballer if they weren't like that, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Have you? Do you remember that day? Have you still got your top from your debut at Charlton?
So my dad's got all my tops.
Has he?
Yeah, my dad's got all the tops, and I will never forget the day. I remember coming on. I came on for, was it Dean Parrott against was it Blackpool? Who was the debut against? The first one
I think you scored against Blackpool, didn't you?
scored a hat trick against them. I was away. Trying to think who the first game was when I came on.
I'm not
Because I
sure.
came off like a short glimpse. I came on. Dean Parrott come off.
Yeah, you definitely got the sub for Dean Parrott. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and then I
sure that.
think after that, and then like I think my next, if I'm correct, I think my next start I had was against Huddersfield, and that was my first career goal for Charlton. And
Yeah,
I think we won the game.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we won the game. I generally think we won the game 1-0.
But that's like, so you come on, you make your debut. I guess all your family were there. What a
Hmm.
moment. And then your next game, you go and score. What was that feeling like? Did you have a celebration in the locker?
Not really. You're just filled with joy.
Yeah,
There's
I can imagine.
I don't really know how to explain it. It's literally, it's everything that you work for, and then to do it for the club that you love and you're at is
Yeah.
even it's like the icing on the cake, if that makes sense. Um, I, I just remember running in, and all the boys just swarming me like when I scored. But it's a good feeling.
Yeah, there's nothing better, really, is there?
Yeah,
You had a pretty good stint at Charlton. You were there for a few years. Changing manager,
yeah,
if I'm right in saying, had a change in personnel that you wanted to play. You went out on loan, but actually
yeah,
smashed it when you
yeah.
went on loan to Colchester. What was that like? Obviously, you've just left your home team.
Oh,
Your dream was
sorry.
to play for. That's all right. Your dream was to play for Charlton. You played for Charlton. You've now been, not by your choice, but you have a loan to Colchester. What was that experience like?
Well, but before the loan, right? We had there was a takeover that happened,
Yeah,
and it was, in my honest opinion, horrendous.
mm,
Um, and we had a manager that came in. I think I didn't like play for a few games, and I thought, I wonder why. So I went up and had a chat with him. I said, like, what is there a reason why I'm not involved or not playing? Is there something I need to work on? 'Cause I was never one to like, like go in there and kick up a big argument. I was always one to like speak and find out what needs to be better.
yeah, yeah. Be
And
professional, like yeah,
he said, I see you as a 10, but I don't play a diamond. I remember the conversation. And I said, but I play on the wing. He said, yeah, but I see you as a 10. So I stood there like,
It's the way
So
to leave me.
so what I said, "So what are we doing from here then?" He said, you can go on loan, you can." I said, "All right, no problem." Um, so I went on loan and I went to Colchester, I think in about 2015 when I was in League One. Had a good loan. I think I scored 9 or 10, got like 11 assists. It was a good loan in around 3 months. By the time I got back, the guy was sacked. Then there's a new manager. Um, and I came back and he was like, "Look, you're playing." Um, then I played a bit under him as well.
Mm,
And it just shows you like the older you get, I think, you can be so secure and, your mind's stuck on I'm here, and a manager can come in and say, "No, not for me." Or
completely changes
I
stuff.
got
Yeah.
I brought in a player from another club I was at in your position, so he's playing. And it's those are the sides in football back then that I didn't really understand because I was only, young and growing into it. But, I started to realize how the game is. It's a bit cutthroat. So, whether you go somewhere else or whether you stay, you always have to, perform to the best.
Yeah, it can't be easy, right,
Yeah.
to have that news, and it's quite a common thing that happens in football, and I suppose you just done the talking with your boots,
Yeah.
and and then wait, what happened there? Did you go from Charlton to Reading?
Yeah.
So before we can move on to Reading, I just wanted to ask you about Chris Powell. So you
The best manager in the world.
really
The best.
why?
I would, first of all, a great human. First of all, someone you can, someone you can speak to, someone who has good knowledge of the game. Not only does he give you like confidence, he like educates you. And like he spends a bit of for me personally, I felt like he spent a bit of time with me.
Mm.
He really wanted like the best for me, which is rare. Not many managers are like that. And I just had nothing but respect for him, to be honest with you. Like every time I put on the shirt, told myself I'd give him 150%. Um, it was for me. He was he was the light that kind of went, "Hey, Cal, come on." Even when I weren't doing great, we'll have a chat. Like him, Alex Dyer, the assistant. I just thought those good human beings. I remember one time I was at home. It's about 10 o'clock at night at my mum's in Norbury. The door knocks. So I'm thinking, who's knocking at my door at 10 at night? So I've looked for the keyhole. It's my gaffer, Chris Powell.
Chris Powell?
Yeah. So I'm like
Wow, okay.
at my house. So I'm absolutely shitting myself. I'm thinking, what is he doing here at 10 at night? Like, what have I done? That's what I'm thinking. Like, what have I done? So
Wow.
I've opened the door and he's like, "You right, Callum?" I'm like, "You right, gaffer?" And then like there was like an awkward like second silence. He's like, "You gonna let me in or what?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, come in." And my dad and my mum was in the front room. So he came in, said hello to my parents, and we sat down. And my dad's looking at me like, "What the hell is your manager doing here at
Yeah,
10
what have you
o'clock,
done?
Cal?" And he's gone, "Right, do you want the good news or the bad news?" So I'm like, "Oh my God, there's bad news." Like, what bad news? And my dad was like, "What's the bad news?" And then he was like, "Oh well, um, he should have gone straight to the 21s in England, but the good news is that he's called up for the 19s for the Euros." So I was like,
Wow.
thank God, like it weren't anything mental because I was
Yeah.
absolutely scared. But it was like for him to like come and deliver that message in person at my house just showed what type of person he is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really really good part of my life. Yeah,
What a man. So,
yeah,
and he wanted to deliver that message to you and your family as well, which is
yeah.
just, yeah, that speaks a lot. Did you think like he related to you a bit? I mean, he was Charlton, he was
I feel,
Charlton through and through, right?
I
Did
feel,
he
I,
relate
f-
with you boys?
I feel so. Like even like when we was in like training, because he was like a lefty, I was a lefty, and I think his mum, if I'm correct, or his family were from Norbury as well,
Oh,
where I grew up, and we just kind of had a good relationship, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So yeah, no, that was good. He was a really good manager. I really liked him.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention him before we move on because I mean, I think he coached a little bit when at Tottenham, which is my team,
Yeah.
and everyone says how great he is. Just before we do talk about Reading, you've touched on England there.
Mhm.
Um, England under 19s. You went to you went to the Championship, right?
Yeah, the Euros. Yeah.
You were playing in and amongst some pretty decent players. Who were some of the players that were your teammates at that time? Because I think some
My
of them
team was
were
like
good.
me, Josh Murphy, Lewis Baker, John Swift, Callum Chambers, Jordan Pickford.
Wow,
Um, who else
some
was there?
talent.
Chuba Akpom, um, Tyus Browning. He was a centre back at Everton back
Yeah, it
then,
was
or right
Everton.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah. We had a good team. And you know what's so funny, right? Uh, in my second training session at the 19s, I got called over by Stuart Pearce. He was a 21s manager, and he was like, "I've watched you for 2 sessions, and this is too easy for you. You're with us now." So I went over to train with the 21s.
yeah.
There was me, I think Jordan Henderson, um, Sterling,
Was
like all the,
Milner around? Yeah,
I'm not sure. Marvin Saldell was there.
yeah.
Was Sturridge there? And trained with him, done well in that session as well. And he was like, "Look, you're staying here now. Promise you." By the end of the Euros, they sacked Stuart Pearce.
Ah, and then like the same sort of thing. Like it's
Something like
got
that.
that relationship with a manager. Well, in your Charlton
Yeah,
days, it was like you didn't have a relationship, and then it shifts
yeah,
again. Got
yeah.
that.
So they sacked him. So then after that, I didn't get a call for the 21s. Um, didn't get a call for the 19s because you know you get older and your next stage is now the 21s. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
manager that wanted you has been sacked. And ideally, if you're not playing in the Premiership now,
I was going to
back
say
then,
that. Mm.
you're not getting a call up.
Yeah,
Um, so I was disappointed because for me, I felt that was my perfect chance. Yeah, but life happened.
sliding doors, right?
Yeah,
And that does happen throughout everyone's career. The door's obviously shut at that point.
yeah,
But you got your move to Reading. Like, how did that materialise? Was there other clubs that were involved?
yeah. So
Um, what was that
I
decision
think
like?
I think at the time there was Fulham, Ipswich, and Reading was like they weren't there at the start. And initially was going to go to Ipswich, but my agent said to me, like, "This decision is ultimately for you, Cal." And he said,
Mm,
you got to think about one, the football you want to play, and two, where where you want to be." And I kind of sat down, spoke with my family, spoke with my partner, and I had conversations with all the managers, etc. And for me, I just feel like Reading clicked more because of the football that they was going to play, um,
fair.
which they did play as well. The manager was obviously a bloody legend, Manchester United legend, yep. But for me, yeah, when I met him, I
Even
felt like
brother.
this was right. Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, we went there. Um, Reading was a lovely club as well. Really, really, really good club. Like really like family orientated. I felt back then. Had a good group of boys. You know, even Jan was there, Kermagant.
yeah, yeah.
So it's good to meet up with Jan again. We have fun every day at training. But it was a real good club, Reading.
And you played with Swift as well at the
Yeah,
under 19s. I
yeah.
guess that did you speak? What happens in these moves for like for us fans? Do you actually have conversations with people that you know in those clubs? If you knew people
So
in Ipswich, Fulham,
So
etc.
sometimes you know, like if I don't know, a club came in and my friends there, I'll ask like what it's like, how's it going this season, and what's the system that he's playing, what's training like. You know, these things you always want to find out.
Yeah,
Um, and for but sometimes also you don't, and you just turn up. Like it can happen like that sometimes where you don't have the time to have these conversations. They're like, "Can you come in now? Can we do
yeah,
this
that's
now?"
great.
Um, So yeah, it was obviously good to see faces that I know. To be honest, most of the boys at Reading were all welcoming anyway. Swifty was there. Even Lewis Baker, that was in the England team, he came there as well.
Player.
So we had a good team, good bunch of boys,
Yeah.
good managing staff. So it
Yeah.
was good.
Was it Quinn? Was it Quinn? Was Stephen Quinn there
Stephen
as
Quinn
well?
was there, yeah. Quinny,
Yeah.
Paul McShane. We had a good team.
Some
Yeah,
good,
Reading was
yeah,
good.
some good players. Bef- at Reading, I've
Mhm,
seen a couple of clips of some goals that you scored there, and if
mhm,
there's anyone listening to this, go and search these goals. There was a goal against Norwich,
mhm.
and there was a goal against MK Dons.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you just seem to score bangers. Do you remember?
Sometimes. Yeah, I
Do
remember
you
him,
remember
yeah.
them?
The Norwich one was a good one for me. Um, because I'm sure I weren't playing so much. I think I was coming back from an injury at the time. I weren't playing so much, and then to come back and then score, and then the same happened again against Swansea at home. Came back, Gaffer was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play," and I got a goal in that game as well. But Norwich was a good goal for me. I like that one.
Was you when I looked at some of your clips? Obviously, pace is one of the attributes that you hold.
Mhm.
In training, did you ever do any tests and stuff? Was you the quickest in the club, or was there other people that were up there with you? Because you always seem like you had
Do you know what?
pace.
I feel like I've always had pace, but there are people that's always up there, or if not faster at the clubs that I've been at. But I'd always say from here to 10 yards, I'll beat you.
Yeah,
I'm
that,
more of a short, explosive type of
yeah.
player, but you'll have like a fullback who's quick, but then after 20 yards, like his legs start opening up. I'm only like 5'6", so my legs ain't really opening up.
You just got that little
Yeah,
acceleration. Yeah,
yeah,
you. I think your trademark one was a couple of step overs and you were gone.
yeah,
You like
yeah.
the step over
I
as
love
well, didn't
that
you?
one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's one of
yeah,
my
yeah.
favorites.
When you was at Reading,
Hmm.
I couldn't quite pin this down, but I wanted to ask you: did you ever cross over with Michael Elise?
Yeah.
He must have been young though, right? Because was it towards the
Hmm.
end of your time that he started getting games at Reading?
Uh, I'd say within my second year. Yeah, I'd say within my second year, he was training with us for a bit as well. Him and a couple other young boys. Maybe it was good. It was good. You could see he had talent. There was also another young boy. What's his name? Jordan something. I think he's like
Not Peter.
Portuguese. No, not him.
No.
There was a young boy in like Michael Elise's age. Jordan
Okay.
Holsgrove or Holes. He was a good player as well. Really good
Did
player.
you did you ever think that Michael was going to get to the heights that he's got to?
Yeah. The reason being there was something about him. He had an aura. He was hungry for it. All the right things. Um, but I think it's in football. What's most important is timing. You could have He could have been as good as he was years ago, and nothing could have happened. It's timing, and I think he came through at a perfect time.
Mm.
And the moves he got, very very good.
Yeah.
Deserved moves. Yeah, he's young. He's flary. He's good on the ball. You can only wish those things for people because even when I was young and flary, those options weren't. You didn't have those back then. It was just to get into your team, or it was very different. The money that's in the game now that they're chucking at young players is very different.
Yeah.
Many things are different. So for it to happen now, it's like it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And,
and
and
his agent obviously had a decent plan.
Mhm.
Obviously, Palace is a great stepping stone. But to see, like, watch him in the Champions League now, I mean, there's a few of the people,
Unbelievable
obviously.
player.
Elise, you mentioned Lookman as well.
Yeah.
Lookman's doing it on the biggest stage as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah.
players, you've had some tough competition in the wing areas, mate.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, do you know what though? To be fair, all of the young boys that sort of like was coming up, they always looked at me like an older pro. because I was playing from so young.
Yeah,
And the fact of the matter was, I wasn't an older pro. I was still young, but I was happy that they always wanted to come to me for advice or come to me for a chat, or if there's anything that they felt that they wanted to work on. Like they'll always, and I always had time to speak to them. I think
yeah.
when I was young, I didn't really have that. There there was no one for me to go to. There was no one. It was just me.
You were
That's the
quite
difference.
unique though, wasn't like in your style and stuff. You were quite unique, quite a fresh sort of type of
Mhm.
winger.
Yeah,
And I suppose those individuals we talk about have similarities to your game.
yeah,
And because you've got that experience, although you might not have been very old, they would naturally
yeah,
look to you, right? Because you do beat a man, and that is your game. You beat a man, and you try and get the ball in, which
yeah,
is exactly what they do.
yeah,
Um, yeah, fascinating, mate, fascinating. So you had a good time at Reading,
yep.
and then after that, you choose to go back to Colchester?
No, so at the time, I got a call, to come back to Charlton in pre-season. So I
Oh,
went back.
no.
Yeah, I was on holiday with my missus, got a call to come back. So I went back to Charlton, and what they was basically offering didn't make any sense. So I respectfully said, like, I'm not being funny, but
What a shame.
this is gonna work. But apparently a lot of players that they had at the time, um, weren't on great, you know, you know, a good contract in my eyes,
Mm,
especially for how he was doing. Um, so I think we played Colchester in pre-season, and I went there and um, had a chat with the owner because obviously I've been there on loan before, haven't I? And
mm.
yeah, they just said like, look, we want to get you in. You know, you get you playing. And I said, yeah, that's all I want to do.
Wow. So there was
Yeah,
a chance that you could have gone back to Charlton.
yeah, but
Wow.
it was a bit. It was very like difficult, like because Jacko was the assistant at the time. Lee Boyer was manager, and obviously I played with Jacko. Um, so I was speaking to Jacko like we're gonna get something done. Like what's the because I trained for a bit, played a few games. So what's the catch here? Um, and then Lee Boyer was like, oh, he hasn't spoken to Jacko yet, and it just became a bit of like a merry-go-round. And I just thought, oh, this is a bit weird.
Didn't work
I
out.
said, oh, like,
No.
no worries. Like, wish you all the best. Yeah, then I went to Colchester. Good year. What did I sign there? 2 year?
Yeah, you was there for a couple of years, weren't you?
Yeah, a couple of years. But goals and assists in that there as well was good.
Your last season, your return was pretty good, goals and assists wise.
Yeah, and then after that, it kind of you just kind of go. You get older and you start. I went to where did I go? I went to Gillingham.
Yeah. But what happened there before you move on? So you've just had a season where you've contributed, and what you want from your wingers is
Yeah,
to score an assist, and you've done that.
yeah.
Did you have clubs calling you?
Oh.
What was the situation? Because then obviously you
Oh,
moved to Gillingham.
so we had a phone call from Neil Harris. Well, my agent had a phone call, and he said that we want to meet Cal. Can you meet us at a hotel? There was a hotel near, I think it was near Dartford somewhere.
Mm,
It was like, yeah, no problem. So we went and had a meeting, sat down with him, and he's really good, really, really good guy. Obviously, remember him as Millwall, Mr. Millwall, he is.
mm,
Um, and yeah, we sat down, we spoke, and he said, look, he wants to bring me in. Let's do a short term deal. Um, yeah, let's do a short term deal. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I came down there, and obviously it weren't far from where I live. Probably about
yeah.
35 minutes, 40 minutes. Um, so I went there, and then I think at the end of my deal, they wanted to do another deal with the new owners that took over. In the last training, so the training session before the end of my deal, I pulled my quad in
Right
training.
again.
Yeah, I pulled my quad, and I was out. I was going to be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks with it. Um, so that didn't really help, especially with a new takeover. They're thinking any injured players, see you later.
Gutted.
So yeah, that's just football. So that happened. Then I had a call to go Yeovil, went there, then to York. And then after, I'd say when I was at York, York was really good as well. Had a few injuries at York as well, to be honest with you. I find sometimes as well with most of these teams in like national leagues, National League South,
Mm.
the majority of them they all train on Astro.
It's hard, right? It's hard on
Oh
your
my god!
legs, and you're
When
quite
you
an explosive player.
Yeah,
So
when you've gone from like playing on grass your whole life, playing on grass to now 4G, and you're now not 23, you're now 30 plus, or you're 30, your body
it's
doesn't
hard.
hold up as much as it does, and the 4G takes a lot out of you. Um, so that well, that's just part and parcel of it, I guess. But
Mm.
then yeah, then York was good. Then my missus fell ill at the time. She had cancer, so I had to leave within second, I think my second year, and then
Jeez.
came back, and then we kind of had like a year off to help out, make sure she's alright,
Yeah.
take care of home, and so that was a tough year. And then kind of slowly started getting back into it. Um, got a move to Maidenhead, I believe. Yeah, and that was okay. Again, trained on 4G. Um, and one day I just woke up, if I'm totally honest with you, and I just told myself, "This is too far. This is not it."
How far was it you were travelling? Because
So
that's a massive impact. You've got a young
it's
family and stuff as well.
yeah, you got to understand, like, it's an minimum, it's an hour and 45 minutes without traffic, right? But then you've also got to understand, you're doing over 3 hours of driving after training on the AstroTurf. Plus, what they're paying me is not
Yeah.
adding up with what I'm putting in my petrol anyway. So I said, this, for me personally, I just said all round, I just didn't feel it made sense.
Fair.
So I called up and I just had a conversation with the manager at the time, and I said to him, look, like, it's got nothing to do with the club, etc. I said, I just don't feel it's right. Um, of course I want to play football. I love football, live football, but it's it's just not making sense for me. So I said I'm going to leave. So then I left there. Um, and
Are those contracts easy to leave at that sort of level? Is it a mutual
uh,
agreement between the
yeah,
three?
I think if you have a mutual agreement, and you have a reasonable conversation and explain why, then
They're okay with it.
they're okay with that. At the end of the day, it's you leaving. I didn't ask for anything. I
Yeah.
said, look, I don't want nothing from that money wise. I said, like, keep it. I know within myself, I don't want to continue to keep doing that trip
Yeah.
for. It just didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then Braintree got a call to go there as well, which was good. Back in National League, which was a league above. Um, Again, trained on 4G. Didn't didn't help either. We're forgetting Ebbsfleet as well. Ebbsfleet,
Yeah. Similar sort of services and stuff, is it?
same surfaces there, which is fine. Like, you can manage it, but I just don't understand the everyday 4G, 4G, 4G.
Yeah.
And if I'm totally honest with you, in and around them levels, physios are no good. Um, but
I
that's just
suppose
how
it's money
that's
as well,
that's just
isn't
how
it?
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just how it goes. So you just got to get your head around it and try and get the best out of a situation that you're in.
What's your situation for next season? Are
So I'm not.
you
I'm still looking at the moment, waiting to speak to some clubs,
oh good luck.
and hopefully get in somewhere in preseason, get a good preseason under my belt, to give me the best chance of having a good year.
And you looking somewhere sort of local
Yeah, anywhere that's just not too crazy far. I got two kids. So this is an issue as well I was having with Maidenhead. So like on Thursdays, for example, they train at night time.
got you. So
And
you're
I'm
used to that.
like, yeah, so like if my partner's not well, for example, or like she's got to run to hospital and have this done, I got to be there for my kids, and
Yeah.
I'm not getting home until about 11 o'clock
Yeah.
because we train at night. I don't know, but because I've never had that in my career, like I've always trained every day in the morning. I've been running at 9 o'clock in the morning. You train on the grass, you do a gym session after, you go home. So I've always like lived that. But when you go down, I'd say out of the EFL, most clubs don't. Most clubs ain't full time. Most clubs are
It's
on
like
different
yeah.
surfaces.
So they've got
Then
work. Yeah.
yeah, then the money's a lot different. Your expectations of how you've lived, like physio wise and sports scientist wise, and
It's
you
different.
don't have all those people to be on you like, no, we've got this to do today because this game you said that this was hurting, so we're going to push through this. There's none of that, so you have to do everything yourself. And I said, these are these are fine margins, but it's football.
It is. Well, you've experienced all of it though, haven't you? Which
Yeah,
I'm sure is something when you reflect when the time comes, if you do decide to stop playing at some point, that you've had all those experiences, which is pretty cool.
yeah,
Uh, Are you thinking at the moment, obviously you want to play again next season. Have you thought about what life could look like after football?
yeah.
Looks
So
like different avenues, right?
well, I've spoken to a lot of like staff at Charlton. They've always said like you're always welcome here to coach the boys and stuff like that. It'll be great, Cal. And I always kept the option open. I said, look, I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I said I appreciate the offer, and if that time does come, it comes. Um, but at the moment, I've set up my own academy locally to like where I live as well. So so I run that. I got staff there. I go there sometimes. I join in, and I just do it just to not to give so much education to the kids. I just want them to enjoy and be coached in the right way, because I just feel like there's so many out here that have done nothing in the game. So it just confuses me what he would know, if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Um, So I kind of started that. Apart from that, I'd honestly just say it would just be like properties. Um, that's it really. I did look into like recruitment roles and like chief execs and stuff like that, but it's very it's very difficult. It's not as
There's only so many roles as well, right? There's only so
yeah.
many clubs.
So I always tell myself like, if I'm going to stop playing football and I want to be involved in football, what would I want to do? Would I
Mm,
want to coach and help players, which I feel like I do that all the time anyway, the amount of bloody
mhm.
calls I get, or would I want to be someone who helps the club get players? There's so many different roles within football now,
Yeah,
so you really need to narrow it down. But at the moment, I'm still just you know edging towards I'll keep playing. I saw a geezer the other day. I can't remember what country he's from, but I'm sure he's about 40 something years old. And he's still playing, and I said, "What?" Even a playoff game the other day, Rochdale versus York. There was a guy that came on.
Henderson.
I think he's about 40.
Yeah, he's 40. Yeah, he's at least 40.
Man, I'm 32 years old, so I must have at least 7 years left. At least. I said, I've got to do better. I need to start doing yoga or something, mate, because he's 40 years old and he's still playing. So, yeah, I'm playing till the walls fall off, mate.
He's not doing as much running as you, I bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to slow down.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need to
yeah.
slow down now.
Get yourself a nice little sort of like nut.
Honestly, yeah,
Wicked. Well, look, I wish you the best for that. And Callum, for your academy,
yeah,
what's is there a website or anything like that that people
yeah, yeah, yeah.
should have a
So,
look?
so the website's actually www.callumharriottacademy.co.uk. And the Instagram is ch_academy_ltd.
Wicked. We'll
So
put that
yeah,
in the description as well, so
I
people can go
appreciate
and
that.
have a look at that as well.
Thank
Callum, we're going to go on to the next section. So this is
Yeah.
inside the dressing room. So just a couple of questions.
Mhm.
Who's the best player that you played with?
What a question. And he's been at my team,
Yeah.
Bradley Wright Phillips.
Oh, what a player.
In training, he was. It's like play. I felt like we was just playing football in the cages, like
Yeah.
because I used to do a lot of that. And
Cool.
he just reminded me of like an older version of like me, that the confidence and style that he played with. I was just like, I related.
Yeah.
So I thought in training, like he was some of the stuff he was doing in training. I was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, he went
Yeah,
on. He was great in America as well, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Great,
Um,
great.
but I've seen a few clips where I'm pretty sure it's you two, you bouncing the ball into him and him holding it off.
Yeah,
and bouncing it back to you, that sort of, relationship.
yeah.
I've seen some of those. Yeah, mate, great shout. Um, was there who was the most underrated player you played with?
Most underrated. I would say, nah, he wasn't underrated. He was rated. For me, I always thought, you see, Chris Solly,
Yeah, fullback.
he was a joke.
Was he?
No, no, no. Uh, S- Souls was a. I didn't understand how he stayed at Charlton.
Really? You think he could have played upper?
100%.
Wow.
He was one of, in training, like, if he's on your team, you're going to win.
Okay, I love
Because he's like work rate and he's like, he's just an all round good right back.
yeah.
For me, I don't know, maybe when I was young and growing up and like playing with him, training with him, I always just thought like, you know, like, what's he doing there? Because you got to remember, you have people like Carl Jenkinson going to Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near Chris Solly.
Yeah.
Back then, I'll be honest.
Do you reckon it do you reckon it's something to do with, like, height?
Like,
Hmm.
I think Jenko got sent out on loan to Welling and got scouted by Arsenal from there because he went. I don't think he was playing enough in the first team, so he went on loan and then he got scouted by Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great
That's
move.
luck.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right
Again,
place, right
timing.
time.
Yeah.
Sliding doors. He's at Bromley now. He got really unlucky with an injury, actually,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
which I was gutted for him. And he's
yeah.
another player I want to mention who's at Bromley, who you played with, is
Omar.
Omar.
Yeah, good friends. Good friend of mine.
Really brilliant
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Bromley.
Oh, he's done really well, man. Even at when he was at Colchester, he didn't have as much, I'd say, playing time. But you know, for centre back, like with his height and physique, you're you're always going to have a great chance. And I think when he went to Bromley, he really excelled. I think
Yeah,
they've really like put time into him, and to see how he's grown as a player, and you know where Bromley was and where they are now, and he's sort of gone along with it is it's a good thing to see, especially for your friends.
yeah, no, it's great. League One, buzzing
Yeah,
for it.
buzzing for him. Yeah,
Buzzing, buzzing. Um, I think I'm going to know this one already, but manager you connected with the most.
Pauli.
Yeah, I thought it would be. Who was the toughest defender you faced?
No one.
No one. Had him on smoke every time, yeah?
Do you know what? If I was to if I was to say like there was a defender that was too tough, I wouldn't be a winner.
Backed yourself.
That's just my mentality. But obviously, I played against some like fullbacks that are unbelievably good and quick. Like who's a quick one? Ryan Fredericks or whatever his name was. He's
Rapid.
absolutely rapido. Do you know what I mean? But like, I'd always tell myself like, I'll keep up with you, and if you're going past me, I'll take you out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always had a mentality of
There wasn't anyone you come up against and you were like, I'm going to turn back and go back to my fullback. I go back
no.
to
I'd,
midfield.
I'd always face. I'd always have a
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. We need a bit more of that in today's game. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
What was the best stadium you played in?
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. Say the stadiums that meant the most to me were just the stadiums that for the teams I played at.
Okay.
Regardless of, I always felt like home was at my stadium where I'm at, and that's the most important. To like whether I was at Charlton or Reading or that's our ground. This is our home. No one comes in and disrespects it. That was always my mentality. Don't get me wrong. You've gone to some great stadiums like massive stadiums, played in FA Cups against Old Traffords, and I only go there because we're going to try and win.
Yeah.
We're trying to nick and get back to ours. Do you know what I mean? So I just always had I don't know, maybe it's just my mentality. Like there's some kids dream of playing at Old Trafford and Emirates and all these places. Like yeah, they're fantastic stadiums, but our stadiums are home.
Nothing like home.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you have a favourite goal? Was there a favourite goal you scored?
Mm, Do you know what? I'd say some of my best goals I think were from Colchester.
Yeah,
Like they're like 30, 40 yarders, and I'm like, oh my god, how's that gone in?
yeah, I wrote one down. There was one against Crawley.
Probably one against Macclesfield.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh mate, I, d- I don't know. I think from when I was at Colchester, if you watch these videos at these against these teams, right? Like I said all these shots are from the same place, and they've all gone in the same corner. But I listen, as much as I knew I wanted to shoot there, I just didn't expect it to go in so perfectly.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah.
I don't know. God was on my side.
Practice as well. Fair play. Um, who's the most skillful player you played with?
Ooh, skills. I'd say Lookman had skills. Um, trying to think. Ovi Algeria at Reading. Don't know if anyone remembers
Oh, I
him.
don't know. No, can't remember him.
Um, he was a very skillful player. He was a good player. I think he came from Liverpool. Um,
Not an easy one, is it? There's a couple of good ones in there.
that's a difficult one, man.
There's a couple of good ones. That's fine.
Yeah,
Did you have a childhood hero?
yeah, Thierry Henry.
Was it?
Mhm. Well, at first it was Ronaldinho,
Oh,
but because I supported Arsenal, it just Thierry Henry just like overcame.
okay, okay. And do you still support Arsenal?
Yeah,
We're going to go on to the end section. So the end section is football blackjack. So what it is a game that we've been doing offline with some mates for a few years. And the premise of the game is you have four players that you pick,
yeah.
and you're aiming for 21 goals between all four players. They all need to score at least one goal for
Hmm.
you to be active. And because we're doing it now, we're going to do it retrospectively. So on the previous season. So what we'll do is we'll do Premier League,
Yep.
but we'll do it on last season.
Okay.
So we've got a bit in the app where you can go in, you can have a look at stats. And
Okay.
what we'll do is if you give me a name, Callum, I'll type it in here. I'll tell you how much that you're on, and we'll go from there and see if you can get to 21.
Okay. So
Make sense?
it can be any team.
Any team, you can have. I mean, everyone's got a different strategy. So, some people, some of my mates go, they're Arsenal fans, they go all Arsenal players. But some people, like I'm a bit rogue, and I like to have players from different teams, because it keeps it interesting in the season. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm looking out for Ruta at Brighton to see if he's scoring. Do you know what I mean? Everyone does.
Okay. Sweet. Eze.
Let's have a look at Ez. All right. Eze last season in the Premier League got 8 goals. So you're on 8.
Saka.
Saka last season got 6. So you're on 14.
Um. Okay. Let's dive outside of this now. Let's go for. So this is last season as well.
Yeah.
Where was Son? Was he at Spurs last? Yeah, he was at Spurs last season, wasn't he? Or did he leave?
Um, he was, yeah, he was there. You want that
Yeah.
one?
Son.
You sure?
Yep.
7.
Okay. What am I on?
That's it. You're out.
Oh, I'm out.
21.
20. Oh, yeah,
21.
shit. 7, 8, 7. Yeah. Damn.
If you were
Should
to
have went
have one
lower.
more choice, who would you got? Who would you have gone with?
I've got to pick someone that ain't got a lot of goals, innit?
And this is the thing.
Who had a stinker last year? Who's had a stinker last year?
They need to score at least one goal.
Oh God. Gonna go with. This is difficult, you know.
Hmm.
One goal.
Is there a defender or a defensive midfielder you reckon might have just scraped a goal?
I feel like they got all more than one goal.
Go on, give me a name.
How many goals? Caicedo, how many goals did he score?
Caicedo. Caicedo got one. So your total score is 22. That's not bad.
That's not bad, I'll tell you
That's not bad at all.
that.
That's pretty decent. Well played. Yeah. So for next season, we've got the Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, and the Scottish League.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's free for anyone to join. And yeah, as I say, we've been doing it with some mates for the last few years, and I've just been using Excel, just updating it with my
Yeah,
pals. But this year, free for everyone to join. And
wicked.
yeah, Callum, thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining us on the
Oh, thanks for
podcast.
having
I
me.
will make sure that all of your details for your academy are in the description.
Appreciate it.
Massive thank you, mate.
Cheers, man. Thanks for having me.